So loud. All right. I had to figure out how to put this together. Okay. I've been meeting a lot of people who have been doing their ancestry, and they're like, I can't get past this year, or this year I haven't found a record, and people think it's impossible, and I'm over here like, what? Because I'm finding a plethora of information. So I just wanted to try to show you guys what I've been doing. I'll give you a background. I've been in Virginia for like 5, going on 6 years now. So that's how long I've been doing this. Okay. All right. This is me. Tip right here. Okay. So basically, my step-by-step advice would be to like call the people that are alive, the oldest people that are alive. Call them. I would start with that first. Um, these are my grandparents. Here, this is my mom. My grandfather passed away in 2008. My grandmother is still living. So, I've called uncles, aunts, whoever I can get my hands on. I've called, and think of this journey as like, I want you gotta take it serious. Like, you collecting this information, you need to be thinking of it like I'm writing a book. I'm publishing my family history, like for my family. So I would be that meticulous with my information. Record the conversations, take notes, all that stuff. And then I would come here. There's other sites too: Ancestry, Family, Search.org, RootsWeb, My Heritage, all those things, whatever tickles your fancy. Um, you know, Ancestry is free at the library. That's where I started. I went to the library first. So once I kind of like talked to all the people I could talk to in my family and took the notes I could take, I went to the library, started this, and I started here with my grandmother because her people are from Virginia. So the first thing I did was, you know, she's living, so records won't be available for people at certain, uh, if they live in and stuff, certain time periods. Okay, so yeah, I just kind of try to gather some stuff. Try to gather some stuff. I'm not trying to show y'all too much of my people's business, but just gather the records that you can gather: marriage records, birth records, death records, those things. And then I love the census records. Those are kind of my favorite because, as far as like detail, because I don't know. I feel like once you kind of get into it, you start to be able to kind of read into what's happening and what's going on. Um, like here, with my family here, I noticed on the census records that they were moving around like a lot. And I was like, man, that goes against what I remember being taught, like about slavery, or I mean, it was probably back here, but during slavery and all that stuff, that the slaves weren't as mobile. So when I called my uncle back, because that's something too, get your information. Whatever you gather here, I would go back and call my family and say, hey, I found this, I found that, because it does jog their memory, and they realize things, because you got to understand they were growing up too, just like we're growing up, and they saw laws being passed, they saw things happening, and they didn't quite understand why. And then when you bring this to them and say, hey, I found out about this, I found out about that, then they sometimes go, wait, and it sparks different things. Um, Once you gather like you know, marriage records, and you save them here and here to these people, I would go to the library, because libraries have genealogy sections. Go to the library in your city, town, state, and not only would I, you know, make sure that their records are there and that they say what they say, um, get, physical copies. If I don't know if it matches, then I don't see the need to, because you can save the records right from off of here if you need to. As long as it matches, I don't see the point. I mean, unless you're trying to, I don't see the point. Then I would also like, right? So she was born in 1907, he was born in 1904, and they were born in like Pennsylvania. So then I need to know what was going on around that time. So then you get into the history books and you got to figure out what was the climate like, what was going on. And all of this, by talking to your family and doing all of this, will help you get a better understanding. Um, and you can confirm with your family, is this right? Is this right? I can let you guys see a little bit about how far back I got. Let me show you a line that I can confirm that I actually went to the library. It's like this Dickerson line here. I went to the library and basically double checked whatever I had. Whatever I found on here, I went to the library and I made sure I went through the census records. I went through it to find marriage certificates, divorce certificates, death certificates, anything you can find. Um, this line here, I really did a lot of research on too. This one goes pretty far back. Um, you see, but there's still some holes here and here. This is where I really was at when I was in the library. I really was like going ham on this portion. The library is important. It's important.